In this house, we lived for 7 years, off the corner of San Remo and Polynesian. Our parents would yell at us in Spanish, just like everyone else in the street. We were always pressured by our parents and being reminded why they brought us here. Most of us only knew 2 words of their language. We would laugh, and we would still mess around. Do you remember when those kids gave us those ugly looks? When we told them where we lived? We told them we were from Poinciana, and always asking, where is that? Our neighborhood was poor and such a small town. Most of us were Hispanic, and so was our school. Our school wasn't very good either, but that's where we're from. Do you remember of all those bands that came to play at my house? We canceled so many of those shows because nobody came, and the ones that did happen, almost no one came. We really wanted to change our town. Do you remember the looks people gave us when we went to the shows? We would go to Orlando for the shows. We were the only Hispanics there, but that's how it was in the music scene. Do you remember so many problems when with our friends and their parents? It almost seemed like it was the problems in the same stories, but just different families. The boyfriend would come and live with a girlfriend. The parents would get mad. Someone would get mad. Someone would get arrested. We just didn't see how amazing our parents were and the sacrifices they made. We messed around while they're working minimum wage. Our parents would say to turn off the light all the time. We would enjoy the power once you came over, and we would leave the light on for hours. It's okay because you're here, so we can enjoy it now. We would always talk about savings. Do you remember when people have no idea of where we're from? I would say Ecuador and they wouldn't have a clue. It happens, it's okay. I came when I was little, so I grew up here. Do you remember when you would come to my door so drugged? I asked, saying what's wrong and what's happening. You said you were fine and kept walking. I felt so much sadness for you, but it's just one of the many things that many people do here. Do you remember we would spend hours and hours listening to CDs and to the bands that we liked and said that we're going to make a CD and be a band just like this? We would say that we're going to save up for that guitar equipment and would dress up like them too. Do you remember when we would sit down and talk and talk and talk for hours, saying how much we wanted to live somewhere else? We would mention other cities and other states, saying, yeah, then our life would be much better than it is now, but we're still here. Do you remember we would sit down for hours and hours? We would say, how didn't we like Christians? We would say so many things, so sad that we said all that without even knowing God. All of this happened while I was living in that house, in that small town of Poinciana. But I'm still here, and I praise God He had His hand on me that whole entire time.